Hey, welcome to another virtual water cooler live. My name's Steve Wright. A little bit of the interweb here, live on LinkedIn and also streamed on my Facebook group, The Managers Who Lead, and on YouTube for whatever reason. So I start off with an apology. I put a post in last week that I didn't make it to my own water cooler event. I don't like missing them, but I was traveling to the other side of the island, as I said in the post, and visiting family, friends, and sort of getting myself acclimatized and into sort of island living. So sometimes a trip takes most of the day, and just the pace of life and the condition of the roads and traveling from one part of the island to another can be quite an adventure. So apologies for missing last week, but I'm back in the saddle today. I'm not sure who's going to be joining, but I always kind of kick this thing off and wax on a little bit. I had a couple of topics that really kind of link, were top of mind for me. One was if there's anyone in the audience watching the replay, how many times have you ever lived somewhere more than 3 months overseas? I'm coming up to 6 weeks here, and it's more than just a vacation. Well, Mr. Whiskey is one of those people that is an international traveler and superstar.
Hold on a minute, Steve. I can't hear anything.
Okay.
All right. I fixed my settings. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. I can hear you fine. How are you doing?
I'm good. You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna put my spotlight on. I didn't have it on. Ooh, I didn't have it on. Right in my face. People comment, you blink too much because I got a spotlight in my face.
Well,
This place is not a studio. I mean, I got curtains behind me,
mhm,
because I don't know.
you
There's
have.
not like a studio set up here. Interestingly enough, the type of lights used in a lot of these rooms, I don't know if it's a Japanese design or just this particular apartment. Every other room, the camera picks up individual flashes from the type of lights. So it'll be like this the whole episode. You know what
Okay.
type of like it's
Yeah, the
the
frequency.
camera and the lights are out of phase. Ooh,
Yes.
using
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
electrical terms over here. Ooh, it's been
Yes.
a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah. You can set, sometimes you can set your camera to 50 or 60 hertz. That's usually the thing that is out of phase if you're
I
in
don't like to do
UK.
anything that hurts.
No. Well landed on that.
Thank you, thank you,
another
thank you.
technical joke
Well, let's
there.
say if
Out of
I do
phase
things
hurts.
some when I do things that hurts, I guess I do them frequently. Yeah,
There's a
back to back,
frequent.
back
There's
to
a
back,
freak.
back to back. Yeah.
Working them out. So, how are you, Mr. Whiskey?
Well, I'll vent you just a little bit. Now, you saw that I talked to you about well, first of all, do you see I met Andrew Michael Houghton
Yes, yes,
virtually,
good.
not in person.
Houghton,
Yeah,
yes,
you didn't
yeah.
comment or anything
I'm
about
glad.
it.
I did see. I did. I didn't. May not have commented, but didn't I? Didn't I acknowledge or like it? You're so
No, no, you
on
didn't even
my
do that, I don't
case.
think. Yeah, because
Okay, just checking.
after that I sent the speaker thing and you acknowledged the speaker thing, not
Yeah.
the
Oh,
Andrew
okay.
Michael. Too many
Oh,
messages
okay.
at once,
Okay.
perhaps. Yeah.
I may have. Yeah, I may have. I saw the image. I thought, oh, I meant to come back. I meant to circle back
Well,
around that. I was
let me
probably
see. I'm gonna
there.
fact
You
check
go.
myself right now, make sure I'm not a jerk
There you
off.
go.
Let
No,
me
no.
see.
I might well have seen it and not loved it. Um,
Yes, no comment on either of that. You gave me a Jamaican's thumb up on the voting thing. So, and that's
there you
kind
go.
of here's my opinion on that. And if the founders see it, you can take this as criticism, not a complaint. On paper, as a conference, it sounds great to say, hey, let us have the attendees and future attendees vote on what's going to be there because we want them to have some direction control over the content that they're paying to go to. On
Yeah.
paper, sounds great. In
Yeah.
reality, it is the worst idea ever. And here's why. The truth is that it's only the speakers in their communities voting, because anyone going to a conference, in this case, it's a podcasting conference, let's be honest,
Mhm.
no one is going to say, hey, I'm going to this conference potentially, whether I've been to it before or this is my first time. Let me, in my free time, which I don't have much of, I'm a busy person if I'm going to conferences usually, let
Mhm.
me sit down, take my free time to
Sure.
go through 300 or more submissions, read through all these talks, and pick what I hope will be there. No
Yeah.
one's realistically going to do that. One, is time consuming. Two, a lot of these people don't care about getting a very specific talk there. They're going to go to the conference
Yeah.
one way or the other, and they're going to
Yeah.
pick the talks they want to go to that are based off the schedule. So now
Right.
what you've created is just a popularity competition. So someone like me who has a less than 600 Instagram follower, and I don't really use LinkedIn, I'm competing against some people who have been running a podcast
Massive.
for 20 years and they've got 40 million listeners. Some of them are saying they have 40 million listeners. Some of them are saying they've built communities that have raised $500,000 for other campaigns. It's become a popularity competition.
Hmm.
And I can tell you just from me, I sent that to, I didn't ask every single person I know privately to vote
Hmm.
for me. I reached out to individuals who I felt like believe in my mission and my work and would vote for me. And I'll tell you, it's a 50%, I would say even 75% no response rate.
Wow.
Even
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
people that I've podcasted
Oh.
with, who have spoken at conferences with, whatever it is, most of them just didn't respond to me, just left me on
Yeah.
red, right? So I think on paper, it sounds like a great idea. We want the attendees to have some power over what they're consuming and paying for, but that's not how it's going to play out. The truth is, it's
Yeah.
playing out as I mentioned. It's a popularity competition, and it's the speakers and their communities backing them up. It's the speaker who happens to have 11 cousins, 15 aunts and uncles, and 20 grandkids, who's like, everyone vote, right? And that becomes a very hurtful, painful thing for people to have a talk rejected, not because it was a bad talk, not because people didn't want it, but because I don't have as large of a following, because I don't
Yeah.
know, because I didn't
Yeah.
have a million nukes. I only had a couple of nukes. I mean, this is just ridiculous, right? And I feel like
Yeah.
I'm not wrong, but if anyone wants to fact check me on that, I
No,
think it's,
no. Well,
like I said, on paper it sounds
yeah,
great.
yeah. There's something that you bring up there in terms of making it sound democratic in terms of the attendees having a say in what they attend. Um, uh, in some respects, it's a little bit of a cop out from the organizers because
I
I
didn't
would
want to
probably
say it,
go.
but I feel like that.
I'd probably go to an event based on the credibility of the organizers and the variety of the content that they're presenting. I would trust them to get
Mm,
speakers that are relevant
right.
and across a spectrum, regardless of regardless of their popularity. Sure, I'll have some, you'll have some keynotes and some heavy hitters in there, but at the same time, you would
Mm.
sort of spread that across a
That's why they're
broad spectrum.
splitting it. I'll add in. So what they said is the first 50% of the talks will be community voted. The second 50% will be independently, privately voted by a committee. But even
Okay.
then, the question is, okay, 50%. So what is that? But does that mean I had to, as long as one of my talks is in the top 100 talks, the top 20 talks, the top 10 talks, then the independent reviewing, and how are we to say that the independent reviewing isn't going to be a little biased? Because now you've got a committee looking at, well, we've got here's, and
Yeah.
not biased because of them, but because of the voting, right? If they're looking at the leftover talks and saying, well, this leftover talk had 100 votes and this one had 10 votes, they're going to
Then
feel a little swayed maybe. And here's the
you
thing.
can't.
I mean, the organization has gone through a lot of changes. So if it was two people, then it split. They sold it. People split up. Now it's become part of other event. And I think, I don't know. For me, it felt like an opt out in the sense of, man, I don't feel like reading through these 300 plus submissions. Let me just throw it out there.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that is what happened, but that's a possibility. And
And,
the thing
and
is, a lot of the talks sounded so similar, or some of them, and I'm not trying to bash anyone's talk, but some of them were like, "Hey, this would be a great talk, but it's so niche, it doesn't feel like it belongs at a conference." And even my stuff, like looking at my stuff compared to other stuff, there's a lot of business stuff, and then my stuff was a non-business angle. Mine was more based on human connection and morality, and maybe that's hard for people because if you leave it to the attendees, most of them they're just going to say, "I want to know how to grow my podcast. I want to know how to make money." Number two, like the two biggest things
Mm,
podcasters ask.
mhm.
But there's always going to be talks about that. And I think so many people are going to pick just those types of talks that they're going to leave no room for talks that are more
Y-
unique or whatever it is.
Yeah,
And I'm tired of
yeah.
all these conferences being so copy paste, so beginner level. And so, yeah, reading through the talks, I mean, and I don't know if I didn't look at the name of every person who submitted every talk, but there were some repeat talks. And I
Right.
think it had to be the same person just doing a different angle on the same talk. Unless it's not, I'll give you an example. There were multiple talks on how we need to have more crime podcasts because they've helped solve real life crimes sometimes. There was more than one of those submitted. And maybe they're the same person. I got to go check now because I'm like, what are the chances that multiple people said, "Hey, but if you have a crime podcast and you're trying to be unique, not talk about growth, not talk about money, that's the kind of angle you got to do is, well, here's why how crime podcasts and podcasting is more powerful." Um,
Mm.
but
So
overall, I think the system is just a flawed system. And
well,
I
well,
say that respectfully, I mean, I just think
yeah.
it's, like I
Well,
said,
let's
on
be,
paper, it sounds great. It sounds great to
yeah,
have the attendees have some sway.
yeah.
But
Well,
like you said, we trust you to pick right stuff. And
mm,
like I said, when I've been to multiple conferences, spoken at or attended, I filter through the talks that they select. So once they have the schedule, then I filter through what talks I want to go to. And I tell you the truth, Coach Wright, it always lines up where every talk I want to go to is on the same day at the same time. And I'm stuck going to talks that I just weren't of my interest for
yes.
every other part of the day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That I mean, that's the risk of attending. Yeah, when you've got multiple threads and multiple streams in a conference of types. I mean, there's outside of the specific concept, the specific conference around podcasting. I mean, there's a wider question there in terms of how much sway does the audience have in order to make a conference successful, and how much of it is curated and on the organizers to be trusted to put on a
Mhm.
good conference. And that's, I mean, I've never put one on, so I'm not speaking from someone who's run conferences. Speaking from someone who's attended them, I don't necessarily want to have the overhead of working out what is put
Mm,
on at a conference that I go to. I want the friction. I want a frictionless experience in terms of I trust that I will be able to hear and
right.
see whatever I attend. There will
Mhm.
be either materials that I can take away, so I'm not writing notes, or there'll be breakout sessions where I can have some input, or good Q&A. Sometimes they talk too much, and there's lots of questions. There's more questions brought up than answered in the
Mm,
presentation. Therefore,
Come on, Pastor.
A strong
Come
Q and A
on.
is better
Yeah.
than you just stand up there for 90% of the time, and you give me the extra time
Right, right. Well, and
for two Q&A questions, and
a
those
point
may
I
be
want to
filtered
make
too.
is because you talked about questions and answers. I remember one of us to be a successful speaker, I feel, in my opinion, is being able to dismiss questions that are too niche or personal. So I went to a I went to a conference, and a young woman asked the keynote speaker a very specific question about her personal life, and almost wanted like a private session with this doctor and expert. And it got a little dragged out, and people who had more help everyone questions didn't have time because like you said, it's only
Yeah,
5 to 10 minutes at the end,
yeah.
whatever it may be. And you can't stop people from asking those questions because some people are, so I'll say, selfish and slash or not aware maybe of the time and place to ask certain questions, especially if the keynote speaker is available afterward, which they usually are. Some of them fly in and out so fast you can't even catch them. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had that happen plenty of times at conferences, but as a speaker, you get to have some idea, say, hey, that's a great question, but I think it's a very specific personal question. I'd love to talk to you about it one-on-one, but I want to address more general questions right now to serve everyone. See, I mean, I think that's good
Yeah.
enough answer. And
Yeah.
one thing I'll say is, have you ever been to Korean barbecue or Japanese barbecue?
Yes.
Right? Why
Yes.
am I
Yeah.
paying you, in this case, the conference organizer, right? I get to pick out the content, but now I have to do the work. I have to cook
And
it,
cook
right?
it.
Right? So I'm paying you to watch me do the work, and all you did was provide the content. I'm going out to a restaurant, aka conference, because I want the content already picked out and I want you to cook it for me.
Okay, so here's a question.
Right?
Here's
Is
a
that a good
question.
analogy? I feel like
Here's
that's a
a
good
sound.
analogy.
Here's a sound bite. Should a conference be more like a restaurant or a Korean barbecue?
Right,
In
right.
the
That's a
sense that you
podcast
have
episode.
you have
Yeah.
a yes,
Make
you
this
have a
a
server.
one-on-one thing episode, and
Um, there
yeah,
we
I mean,
go. There we go.
you're
I
so many months
I
behind anyway.
I want to, yes. I want to I mean I wanted to widen your question in terms of it's not just
Okay.
about the conference that you're at and the
Well, yeah, this
podcast
is
event that you're going
conferences
to.
in general or
This,
events in
yeah, it's
general. Yeah.
and also
And
it
it's
also
politics. It's politics because you look at America, and I don't know how they do things in Jamaica. That maybe they just say, "Who here wants to be in charge?" All right, I'll do it. But in America, you say it's a democratic system, and in terms not Democrat and part.
Mhm,
They've
yeah, yeah.
made that word
Small
so many
d,
words now that doesn't make
small
any
d
sense.
Democrat.
But
Yeah,
yeah, right, democratic in the sense that you're voting, right? You have people voting. But how do political campaigns go? The richer you are, the more reach you have. I mean, that's just how it goes. I guess that's with any company or organization, right? But the politician who has great morality but doesn't have enough money or funding or community to get to the big leagues, the final rounds,
hmm,
it compared to someone who maybe is not as moral character but has XYZ amount of money, can pay for more marketing, can,
yeah,
get to more places. It
yeah,
becomes a money game. And the thing
yeah,
is, fundraising sounds so easy. Like, well, if you're a great guy you're promising, guy or gal, promising ABC and XYZ, you're going to get so much funding. Number one, people don't trust politicians. Number two, if you're new and they've never seen you take action, it's just hard. I think
yeah,
it's difficult. So I think it's not just conferences, but it's politics. It's in this case, it could be a money thing. I mean, I could pay people to vote for me right now, right?
right.
Now I'm not going to do that because that defeats the purpose of. And one thing I think you and I have talked about it, Coach, right, is the idea that with many of the podcasting awards, it's pay to play. You have to pay per episode or podcast that you submit. And for me, a true award is, hey, we want to go out of our way to give you this because of the work you've done to recognize you. Not, hey, we based off, entries, and entries were per pay.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, it becomes a raffle, becomes a percentage
yes,
raffle.
yeah.
I pay to enter it.
Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna segue to your tag because most people, unless you can read Japanese, you won't know what your banner says. Do you want to stick? What does that
I
say?
don't
Is
know
that
what it
your?
says.
it's,
It's supposed to say Mr. Whiskey, or it says just whiskey. So hopefully it
it
says
says
that.
it's got a
Hopefully it doesn't
period.
say like,
It's got a
I hope it
period in
doesn't
there.
say
Is
like
that
Texas,
Mister?
Jamaica or something.
Yeah,
I
is that
hope it's
Mister Dot Whiskey? I'll put it.
maybe. I don't, that's not a period, I don't think.
It's not a
Maybe
period.
it is.
Okay,
I
I
can't
don't
tell
know.
because of the placement. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the
Yeah.
place.
All right.
I
I'm gonna
got it
put.
from I got it from this guy called ChatGPT. So
All right. All right. Cool. I just put
okay.
Mr. Whiskey underneath in case
Oh,
people
that's a
say, "What
subtitle.
is that?
I was gonna
What?"
put a subtitle.
Yeah. I said, "What is that? What is that thing next to his name?" So I was just when I joined, I was just asking the question because I'm 6 weeks in. 6 weeks in. It's my sixth week
You're pregnant?
in 6 weeks in Jamaica.
Oh, Oh,
And I was
Jamaica's
just
pregnant. It's 6
I
weeks
was
pregnant with Steve, right?
with me, birthing
And
me
it's been a
in
labor
nine
that
in
hurts. Hurts,
nine.
not Hertz.
There you go. But
To bring everything back full circle.
I
Make
was
sure my
just
Japanese
thinking,
work.
yeah, I was thinking in terms of going to a place where your stay is not just a vacation. I mean, you can stay in
Mm.
places longer than a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month even, and still feel like you're on vacation. You're just an extended stay. At what point does it stop feeling like a vacation and it feels like you are present? And I'm not sure if
Mhm.
I'm there yet. I've
Sometimes
stayed
it's a
here.
first date for me, sometimes it's more than one date, so, um no, I get what you're saying. What's interesting, and I'll give you this timeline to see how you feel about it, is someone said to me as someone who was in the military, like,
Mm,
once you've been here for at least 6 months, then you're a local, and that felt way
mm,
too fast for me because I said 6 months,
oh,
well, because I was thinking about the military, right? You've got
yeah,
like, you'll be at a base sometimes 4 months at the shortest. Usually, I mean, sometimes you're there for a few weeks, but typically you're there 6 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, a
yeah,
year, sometimes years. And it's like to say you're a local, it's like I haven't explored half of the places here, depending on my
yeah,
schedule, haven't
yeah.
adjusted to the dialect. I mean, 6 months, it's simultaneously a long time and a short time. I think,
Yes,
like, and you're talking about, I mean, it's different than being a local, feeling like you're a local and actually living like a local are 2 different things, I guess.
yeah,
So we'd have to
yeah,
separate those, but
yeah, yeah.
it depends. In your case, you've been to Jamaica before. You
Mhm.
are now staying at a destination where you've been before. So, like, people like, I've been to Japan before, so everything's not overwhelming
Oh,
and crazy to me,
yes, yeah,
and people are like, "Oh, well, you're here for a short time, but, you've said this in Japanese, or you've navigated the train and not gotten lost." That's not true.
yeah,
And, this kind of stuff. But I was like, "Yes, because 'cause I've been here before," and
yes,
so I can feel more accustomed in a shorter stay. Even though when I've been here before has only been a few weeks at a time, I look at it as
mm,
overall, I've been in Japan almost half a year by the end of this, putting together
yeah,
all the trips. In your
yeah.
case, you've been to Jamaica on many occasions
Many
before,
occasions,
haven't you?
yeah, yes, yeah, yeah,
Like,
and
is it
it's
all
that's
merging together for you?
that. Well, that's a good point. You have reference points from a previous visit. That means that you're not
Mhm.
starting from scratch every time you come. You're not starting from
Right.
zero. You're starting from somewhere ahead.
And you live
Um,
a year every 12 weeks, so
I
you've been to
do.
Jamaica for half a year already,
Yes,
right?
I
6
have.
weeks is half a
Yeah,
year.
yes, yeah.
You've
Almost,
already
yes.
had a Jamaican Christmas, Halloween, Easter, all the,
No,
all the big
not cool.
milestones.
Not quite, not quite. But yeah, and that's an interesting. That's another interesting point in terms of things feel like they're a bit more compressed because they're familiar from a previous visit,
Mm,
and then other things feel like they need to take a natural cadence. They need to
mhm.
take a natural time, like
We've
dialect,
gotta
right?
take a step further. You are in Jamaica where, by your own admission, I don't wanna seem like I'm stereotyping, so I'm putting the blame on you. You said things move a little bit slower there, right? I don't know if it's
Yes,
island time, Jamaican culture. So
yes,
now you personally, Steve, right? You're living 1 year and 12 weeks multiplied by the Jamaican factor of maybe like 0.25 times speed living, or whatever factor you want to apply.
yeah.
I
Point
mean, you've
seven
already
five
been there
speed.
for basically a year,
Yeah, the
right?
12 weeks, the 12 week,
You climbed
a
up into
12
the
week
mountains of the
program.
heartland, you lost your phone signal. I mean, you've done everything Jamaican, basically. You
Not
just don't
everything
have your,
Jamaican,
what is it,
but
bomb? Your bomb? Or what do you call
the
the thing? The
tam,
tom? The tam, the
the
tam.
tam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have I don't have the locks to fill out the tam, but there you go. But that's an interesting point because if a 12 week a 12 week program can feel can a 12 week program feel faster based on where you live? If you're in the UK or you're in the States or you're in Asia or you're in the Caribbean,
Imma answer that
you
right
know,
now with ultimate wisdom. A 12-week year feels as fast as you make it feel, depending on what you put into it. And
as you
here's
Jamaican
why.
feel. I had to
That's
get one in.
so
I had
funny.
to get one
Actually,
in.
that was good. You had it, yeah. It's funny
Oh,
because
I'm gonna stop you right. I'm gonna stop you right there. I've been missing the chat theme, and I've got Laura. I've got Laura Toop, who's on vacation. I won't give away her location, but she's
vacation, or does she feel like a permanent resident already?
that's good. She may be feeling so chill. And
Right. She may
I'm
start
gonna.
drinking at 9 a.m.
Oh dear. So she apologizes for missing she's been so busy on the side there. I'm sorry, Laura. Mr. Whiskey, to my defense, talks so much that I have to pay attention to him, and I missed the chat.
You don't need
But
your eyes to hear
and
him.
Will says hi as well, and
I think he's one of the people who left me on red when I
uh,
messaged him on Facebook to vote for me. I'm gonna go check right now. I'm pretty sure he left me on red.
but she says it doesn't have to be. I think it's commenting to.
He should have voted.
It does.
You know why? He didn't vote because he doesn't want me in New York City. I'll be too close. He's trying to
Yes,
keep me away from the Northeast.
there you go.
Let's see.
Does it
I'm
have to
pulling
be
up
a
my
money
chat
game,
right here.
or is it just being more particular
Yeah,
about where you
he left me on
choose to
red.
place effort? So I think she's referring to what we're talking about in terms of getting, I just getting awareness, and to your point, if you've got money in the game that allows you to sort of take advantage of marketing, placement, awareness, then that's key. So
Well, yeah, I think
I'm
effort
mi-
can go a long way.
I'm missing it. Yes, nope, solely on cucumber water here. I'm not sure
That's
what that
code
refers
for
to.
cucumber vodka. That's what that means. It's clear. It looks like water.
It looks like
Cucumber vodka
water.
is very popular, and
It's soju, or sake.
I'll be honest. I was not impressed with that stuff. I've had it here in Japan at a Korean place, and
Really?
I had one that was from it was famous because it was in like a K-drama series or something. They all drink it, and
Right.
to me, I thought it was gonna be very flavorful, but it was just bland. It was flavorless. It was kinda more like vodka. I
All
think
right.
with the money versus effort, I mean, again, it the the money fuels the amount of places you're able to get to, right? And when it comes to numbers,
Yeah.
because politics is a numbers game. Euros getting you places.
Yeah. Yeah. If the message is still crap, these people aren't going to listen in the end.
Mm.
You're
Well,
still
but
going to
here's the thing. I'll
deliver.
give you an example. I watched a political commentary yesterday where the guy called out his group of people for just jumping at anything that the politician was free. Just so like you could have two politicians and one is less morally sound than the other one, but the one who's less morally sound is bribing them with, hey, I'm going to provide free buses for all of the people in the city or
Mm.
whatever. Meanwhile, he's doing ABC to harm the community. But the guy who's saying, hey, I'm going to uplift the community, but you still got to pay for the buses, right? People are easily, I don't want to say people in like, there's a lot of smart individuals, but there are a lot of masses of people who look toward the shiny thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, why do anglerfish work? Because creatures get distracted by the shiny thing and don't see the monster behind it. All right, making
The
this stuff up on the spot. All
anglerfish,
right, I can only do so much.
the anglerfish. Well, Laura's defending her cucumber water, 42 degrees where she's at, and so that is basically if your body was that hot, you'd be in intensive care. So
It's too hot,
yes,
42 degrees. Well,
yes.
she doesn't mean 42 Fahrenheit, I don't think, because that would be
No, that is not
very
Fahrenheit.
reasonable.
That is centigrade right there. That will definitely, like I said, if your body temperature was that
Now
hot,
she's got
you'd
the
be in
lime
trouble.
in it. See, that's even more suspicious. We got lime in our
It's
water.
calling,
Not
it's calling you out.
right?
Live, yeah. You cut the well.
A little
It's
suspicious.
refreshing. A little citrus.
Yeah.
Miss Laura, don't take Mr. Whiskey seriously. He's a stand. It's funny because is he an oxymoron? He's not an oxymoron.
I stopped suicide, but I also make
he's a
jokes.
paradox. He's a paradox.
Mm.
He's because
I'm a couple of docs.
he's a yeah
I'm not a
he's a
paradox. I'm a
he's a
couple of
man
docs.
of faith. He's a man of faith. He's got strong
I try to be.
convictions in I mean, well, I mean, yes, you're striving to be that person of faith. You speak up in defense of and in the spaces that are often sometimes difficult to talk about. And certainly algorithms can kind of, asterisk out stuff that you talk about. And then you're also a stand-up comedian. So sometimes the levity
I didn't
that
choose this life.
yes,
I
you
never
did.
asked for this
You
being.
absolutely
I
did
never
chose it.
asked to be
You-
born with the ability to somehow, when I grow out my facial hair, there's a hole in the bottom of my chin that won't grow. I don't know. Someone must have
okay.
sprayed pesticides on me when I was a child. I don't know. It just won't grow there.
There you go.
It's crazy because I don't know if you and I ever discussed the first time I ever did stand-up comedy, right? It was
All
my
right.
first time. Oh, I'll let you go ahead.
All right,
Yeah, bribery.
I'm bringing Laura in. I think she's got technical issues to not be able to be on the call, but I'm definitely
The
chiming in her
technical issue is
chats.
drinking too much cucumber lime vodka. that's the issue, Steve. I mean,
Uh,
I do
yeah,
have some Sakura cherry blossom sake over there,
right.
but I've got
The thing,
podcasts at it's midnight 30 for me. I've got a podcast at
yes,
1:30 a.m., one at 3 a.m. I'm a Pitbull said he was Mr. Worldwide. I've never seen him podcast in Jamaica, Africa, and America and India in one night like I have.
there
That's
you
all
go,
I'll say.
there you go,
Not calling
there
him
you
out. I
go.
don't want no beef,
Yeah,
but
call him out, call him out. Sustainability isn't built on gimmicks. It's true. I think that's really people who are looking at gimmicks. I think it would serve them better to look at something that's a bit more long term. Like you said, the example of
we
giving
look at
someone
everything in 4-year
in
cycles in America.
if
Like
that
we
yes,
look
yeah,
at the big picture, but the truth is everything is done in 4-year cycles, and it's just not enough time, in my opinion, to have you have some people in the government. If I try to drink, oh, see exactly,
good,
monumental. That's
yes, that's a
well,
good
that's good
word.
self-awareness. Yeah, wine is a mocker, beer is a brawler. Who has ever led astray by them is a fool. Find that in Proverbs. Yeah, awesome. There we
There
go.
you go.
There's the faith right there. Now, I never asked to do stand-up comedy. I was asked to do stand-up comedy. The
There you
technical
go.
issue is that I'm sat
I tell you,
the best technical issue to have.
I tell you, man. I tell you, we definitely. I watch out. Watch this
Are
out.
you
Watch
wearing a
this space.
Tom? Are you wearing a tam while you're
Tam.
outside catching the sun? Yeah, are you wearing that?
I'm so looking forward to having a one-to-one chat with Laura. Um, so watch this space. We're going to make that happen, Laura. So um, I'm Ed Shaw. She's kind of tight, but
I
it
told
sounds like
that's vodka right there. That's not sunlight. She's trying to say I can't tell because the sun's in my eyes. You're telling me no sunglasses, no hat, no
yeah,
umbrella. It's just
yeah,
pure sun.
can't go live
Explain.
without seeing me in a bikini.
Should I respond to that as a man of faith or a stand-up comedian? Two very different
Oh yes,
lanes.
very different lanes, very different lanes.
Right. Well, it
But
depends where you're preaching.
yeah, but like you said, it's there's elements
The
of
takeaway
that
is please vote
politics.
for me. If you go to my Facebook page, you can vote on my talks. All 3 of them are on mental health, suicide prevention, and podcasting. There's plenty of talks and YouTube videos out there about how to get more downloads, how to make money, blah, blah, blah. All right. You can find that anywhere. But what you can't find is this. Vote for me now. Also, I'll give you a free bus ride if you vote for me. So, and
Oh,
just
so I said, promise what you cut.
well,
Yeah,
listen,
that's a
this
great thing.
pastor was making commentary went as low to say, if these guys offered you free hot dogs, you would vote for them. All right. Just for a single time meal satisfaction, you would throw away your rights. And
Yeah,
we've seen
yeah,
that. I mean, biblically, look at Esau. I'm so hungry, I'm going to die. Let me give my birthright over for some stew. I
yeah,
mean, people, we've seen it historically. Sometimes
yeah.
people, like you said, there was a social experiment done with children where they said, "Kid, you could have one marshmallow now, or you can wait 10
All right.
minutes and have two
Yes,
marshmallows." You know
yeah,
about
the
this one?
famous one. Yes, the
People are
famous
so
marshmallow example.
focused on short
De-
term that they don't
delayed,
think about the long term.
delayed gratification, delayed gratification. I mean,
I would ask, how long do I have to wait to get one toasted and dipped in chocolate?
and would you add? Yes. Oh,
No,
that's
I
an
wouldn't answer
interesting.
that. I don't know.
That's interesting. If you upped the perceived value, then your ability to wait goes up because you're tipping the balance between if you're starving, you're going to eat the marshmallow regardless of what you're told. If you're not hungry, then you now in a space where you can actually rationalize. And that
That's why I
I'm
eat
going to say,
before grocery shopping. It saves
oh,
me money.
thank you, thank you. I was
But
going to say
but
that.
I messed up because the other day I ate too much before grocery shopping, and I was so full that thinking about cooking anything made me sick, and I couldn't think about what I wanted to make throughout the week. So, but
Yes,
it's Japan, okay? I got lamb skewers and chicken parm and tiramisu for like $6. Okay, I was eating up. I'm trying to. The
bulk
lamb
up,
skewers were good. Yeah,
bulk up, but
I'm on my path of gaining 40 pounds, and somehow every time I weigh myself each week, I weigh less, but I have more muscle. But I run for 2 hours every day, so I keep burning too many calories. It's
yeah,
nightmare
you're
out
in
there.
deficit. You're in deficit 2 hours every day.
You know what? I'm in sleep deficit. I'm in financial deficit. I'm in calorie deficit.
That's it.
It's not the ideal life. It's not the ideal
Wow,
life right here.
that's a good. As a, it's a as, we jump all over
Living
the
life in
place.
deficit.
Well,
Is that
yes,
that's
I
the
was going to
podcast
say
episode.
yes. That's interesting. What deficits are beneficial, and what does a deficit bring into awareness? Because when you're lacking, when sometimes you're in a place of lack, you have a different decision making process than if you're in a place of sufficiency, right? I mean, if you're struggling to find your next meal, the choices that you make as they're presented to you are going to be different to someone who is not in that position. And sometimes we create a false sense of deficit in order to make an action, in order to make something worthy of doing. It's not
Mm.
sometimes the deficit is perceived and not actual. So
Well, I have a bunch of podcast episodes on that in terms of addiction, of how addicts will justify or rationalize drinking. And
yes,
speaking of drinking, look at the spelling. I'm telling you, that is vodka. Those cucumbers must have been soaked in vodka at minimum. Very interesting. Dot 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 deficit.
I I love
Very
it. I love it.
interesting.
You keep going. You do you, Laura. That's
That's the island
but
time typing right there. I'll tell it. It's funny.
yeah.
Well, it's not funny, but
Mm,
me and my family used to joke. My father struggles with drug addiction and alcohol addiction,
mm.
and we used to say when the text become Egyptian hieroglyphics, it means he's over the edge. Because the more it would get to a point where I'd have to translate. No one else would know what the hell he's saying. I had to
Yeah.
translate. And what's actually funny, well, I think it's funny. It's kind of sad. My buddy was pulled out of school for a while, went back in, and he just
Mm.
does not know how to spell. He's a nuclear
Right.
operator. He's smart and he's a history buff. You could name any date or place and he knows what happened there.
Yeah.
But I had to translate his text to people because he spells everything in like a homophonic way.
Yeah.
And for people who are cancel culture, they say, "What the hell did he say?" Homophonic, like a homophone, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he'll
Same sounding. Yes.
he he spells stuff as it sounds, not as it's spelled, which
Yeah.
It is funny to read those texts sometimes,
Yeah,
though. Like, I'm trying to take him serious. He'll be texting me some very serious stuff sometimes, and I'm like, let me, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
That's very profound,
yes,
Steve.
yeah. Thank you. Well
Everything, Steve.
spelled.
Everything you've
Well,
said is profound.
well spelled as well, Laura. I'm sorry.
Right. I mean, it could have been Steve, Stephe. So be right there. Well,
No.
Laura, I'll top Steve right now. I won't toop Steve, but I'll top Steve. I'll tell you this. I think the you talk about sometimes when we're hungry, we choose a different type of food. This goes back to what you and I talked about with sustainable water systems in Africa and other
Mm,
places of the world. When you're thirsty, you'll drink water with bacteria in it. I did a whole
yes.
episode on that, and
Yes.
she's got the tinted glasses, and it's not enough. Yeah. You know what? Maybe it's not the sun. Maybe it's our smiles. Maybe that's what's blinding her.
Oh, oh, nice shift.
Yeah.
So go
But
back
I
to
was
your.
gonna say, here's the worst possible type of deficit that I've seen is
Mm.
you, because of heartbreak or loneliness, lower your relationship standards and eat something unhealthy.
Oh,
That's the number
I was gonna
one
go.
right there.
Yeah,
Are you
I
gonna go
was
with
gonna actually
more financially
I was
poor
gonna go with
choices, Steve?
something. No, I was gonna say the worst kind of deficit is the deficit of hope.
Mm,
If you are if you if you have a sense of hopelessness, you know, your hope bank is empty. That is probably one of the most. I can't even imagine it. Um, and it's not because I'm lucky or I'm blessed. Well, I'm blessed and I'm blessed and grateful. And I guess feeling blessed and grateful instills a sense of hope in most circumstances. But if someone's in a deficit of hope, and that might be caused by certain other things,
mm,
that could be brought about by environmental factors, like say economic factors, relationship factors. But when hope is gone, that's a tough one. And like you said,
mm.
you mentioned you work with people in those spaces where
Yeah.
they think the
Well,
best option is to leave, you know,
right.
leave this
And what I
planet,
always
and that's not.
say ties into what you said, which is I always share Doom Sparrow Sparrow, which is Latin. You'll find it on the South Carolina license plates,
Hmm.
and it says, "While I breathe, I hope." And I always talk about
Cool.
that saying because hope, what we have is opportunities. We all now she's self-automating, self-correcting. So
She's sober. She's sober.
okay. She's sobering up now. It's her last one. So I'll tell you, I always say it's hard to see it, right? Because this ties in everything we're talking about ties together. Suicide is having tunnel vision. It's having short-term focus only. It's
Yeah.
seeing no marshmallows, even though in 10 minutes you could be getting three, right? All you're focused on is
Mhm.
the no marshmallows, not to make light of it. But while I breathe, I hope. I love that saying because the truth is, as long as you're alive, you always have opportunities. And I say they're not going to be as fast or as slow as you want, or as grand or as small as you want, right? But they're opportunities nonetheless. And
Mhm.
when you commit suicide, which is a permanent result for what is a temporary issue, a short-term issue, right? We know that there's going to be marshmallows in the future. Maybe they're not chocolate dipped. Maybe they're only half a marshmallow. Maybe we're not getting them as soon as we want. But the thing is that when you commit suicide, you're never getting any marshmallows ever, right?
Ever.
And this marshmallow analogy is a poor choice, but it connects back.
Yeah. 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 No, that's good. And it's good. That's yes. I definitely see that there are the impact of lack of hope. It's interesting how the sort of neuroscience um, and um, and sort of brain brain technology, brain science
Right. Well, we've
ties
seen.
into things that are less than it's the intangible of hope. You can't see hope, you can't put it in a bucket, you can't even touch hope. It's not something that is, it's not like me picking up my pen and sort of saying, this is, I can see this, move it around and give it to you and take it back from you. Hope is one of those intangible things, but it has tangible effects, like you said, in terms of neurochemicals. um, um, and it's that interface between our I guess our spiritual, going down that path, our spiritual or our energetic experience of living, and our physical experience of existing. And coming back around to that, to the sadness of suicide is
Mm.
that the you lose, like I said, you lose the chance to get marshmallows. You are disconnecting your spiritual, energetic self from your physical presence prematurely. We all die,
Mm.
and that's not being morbid. And it's as we live. We've got to. It's a memento mori, right? It's remember we die. Um, and that that really is a call to live, as opposed to a call
Mm.
to be miserable. But yeah, understanding that there is a connection. It's not woo woo. It's not like, oh, just feel good. There's elements to that, and I think the more we can lean in, learn, and be around positive people. I mean,
Mhm. Well, it's
forget.
also, you look at the studies, and even just like you could listen to pretty much any episode on my podcast. The number one advice people give is wake up and start the day with gratitude. Because your mindset can determine how fast you get out of bed or not, and
Mm,
and how your day feels. If you go into it anxious and thinking everything's going to be bad, and there's a lot of studies on that, from manifestation to quantum science to
yeah,
the faith, that pretty much what you see is, no matter what you believe, whether it's science, religion, or something spiritual, you basically see that how you go about things is kind of what you get back, in a sense,
yeah,
and that's why
yeah,
people say in the faith, start your day with prayer. Why? Because when you start your day with prayer, usually you're starting with gratitude, because even if you're
yeah,
not asking for anything, you're saying thank you that I woke up, thank you, blah blah blah. Same with
yeah,
gratitude. Some people have, I have had some guests on my show, they have positive self-talk sticky notes on their mirror. So when they get ready in the morning, doing their makeup or brushing their teeth, hopefully both, or hopefully at least brushing their teeth. Sorry, I don't want to say, hopefully you're doing some makeup. I meant, oh, brush your teeth. Right, whatever.
Well, we know what
You
you
know what I
meant. We
meant.
know what you meant. Move on.
Right? They read, I'm beautiful, I'm powerful, I'm this or that. And it sounds silly, but I think it's important, not even just because of waking up and being positive, but because of the negative sound chambers we're surrounded by, the inundation of social media, mainstream media, music, and our own thoughts. It's bad enough we already have our own internal battle with negative thoughts,
Yes.
from ourself, from past wounds. But now we live in a day and age of, I love Pastor Jerry Flowers said it with the BPE, comparison wounds. I'm a preach right now, Holy Spirit talk. The comparison wounds are everywhere. From social
Yes.
media to this and that, we're living out a comparison wound. And one of the
Yeah.
things he talks about, I'm surprised, he preaches a lot about this, and it's
Oh,
actually very tied into my work, is how childhood trauma affects us day to day, especially sexual trauma, how that shapes how we view about ourselves. And I work in that space, and it's definitely true how we
yeah.
value, like talking about deficits earlier. I've dated women before who said my only value is in sex. If I don't give sex, I'm not loved. Or that they had been in relationships like that, or that's
Yeah.
what social media had told them, right? Or that they're not pretty enough if they don't meet a certain weight standard. In fact, one of
Yeah.
the best episodes I had was about the struggle of women who are skinny, who are told, shut up about your health concerns or problems. You're skinny, therefore you're pretty. And that episode was specifically tailored to women who are underweight and struggling with gaining weight or going to the gym or feeling confident, yet they're bombarded by this. hey, you're drowning in privilege because you're born skinny or you lose weight so much. I wish I was you. Go after
Wow.
yourself. You're pretty because you're skinny. I mean, it's just crazy how much negativity and what we have has gone into what we hear. And so having
Yeah.
this, even this thin layer of waking up with positive gratitude to try and repel some of that is so
Yeah.
important, because it's hard. People say, don't listen to them, just filter it through. It's hard when you're constantly being bombarded. And it's not like the cicadas in Jamaica where you hear them enough, you just don't hear them anymore.
In a manner. Yeah.
Imagine you were still hearing them when you're trying to sleep at night. They're the
Yes.
loudest
Yeah.
when you first wake
Yeah.
up. I mean, you
Yeah.
wake up, you're just getting out of bed, and you already have cicadas in your ears.
It's psychological. It's psychological
Psychological
tinnitus.
cicadas, the
The
episode you didn't
tinnitus.
know you needed.
Tinnitus. The thing, the ringing, the constant ringing in your ears is not. I mean, I know a few people that suffer from tinnitus. That ringing in the ear, and
The
it's one of those,
ringing
like you
in your
say, you
ear isn't
can't.
what you think it is. The psychological cicada destroying the society. Podcast episode title. Someone write
I
that
was
down.
gonna, and I was gonna say, you said comparison wounds, and I said you can turn comparison wounds into compassion, turn compassion, not compassion
Compassion
wounds,
wounds.
but
Mm.
but I guess, yeah,
Compassion scars, maybe.
compassion scars, because
Mm.
you've come through the comparison. And Laura makes a great point in terms of using the simple mechanics of things, of having quotes within your space, or sayings close at hand, especially when you're going through something difficult. And as you said, one day someone will say, because of you, I didn't give up. Yeah, so that's a scripture there, but watch your life and doctrine, watch your
Mm.
life and doctrine closely, because it will impact your hearers. There are people that are not just looking at your life and doctrine. You don't look at your life and doctrine just for you, but for
Mhm.
those that are in your circle of influence or sphere of influence, not control, influence. Um, but yeah, that's so cool. Um, yeah, it's got I got didn't get to find a struggle with a lot. I don't think going for me. Why am I like this? Yeah, it's an eating disorder in my younger years. Yeah. Um, yes. Yeah. Our self talk. Our self talk is definitely one of those areas, where that's the most sometimes the, I think
Yeah.
that is the most important conversation.
And I can give a
We
really
are
clear
so.
example for everyone to relate to. Let's say I was Steve Wright. I could wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, and say, I'm bald. I can't grow any hair. I can't wear the tan properly because I don't have the locks. I'm betraying my own kind. Like, what am I doing? Or he could say, look at that guy. Man, whew, I can see my own reflection in that. I'm doing good.
I see my reflection in my head. That's pretty shiny right there. I mean, it does shine. It does
Well,
glisten.
but that's
Um,
because you told me, you said, the reason you moved to Jamaica was that your mom offered, in exchange for you doing landscaping, she would get the wax machine on your head so you could see your reflection every day. I remember you clearly asked her and you said, Mom, look, I'm
no,
not a narcissist, right? This is my self-talk. This isn't narcissism. This is self-talk. I like to see my reflection in my own head because it's better than seeing it in the mirror.
right, right. Oh, okay, okay. Laura just cleared up what she said there before, that it wasn't her self talk as much as
Oh, okay.
what people said to. Yeah, and yeah, I would say we are social. Yeah, we're I guess, yeah, we're social animals, and we're self aware, and that's what kind of takes us the the regular animal kingdom. There's people, scientists, trying to study animals to see if they are self-aware. Put a mirror in front of an animal. Does it think it's an animal? Does it think it's itself, or does it think it's another
My
animal?
dog thinks it's another dog, so, I mean, I'll tell you that much.
Well,
Well
there you
well,
go.
some dogs are self-aware, so it depends on the animal. All I can say is you talk about the difference between people and animals. I've never seen a giraffe grow biceps like mine. That's all I'll say,
Well, yeah. I mean, if you had a neck like a giraffe, then that would be a problem too, right? You'd never get on the with that.
Never
You'd have
fit
your
on the
camera
train
so
again.
high up. Yes, yeah.
I'd be
But
like
yeah.
those TV
So
shows. There was a TV show where these they had animals and the giraffe was always off the screen because the neck was just cut off.
yes, the neck was too. Yeah,
Yeah. Gotta,
always out of shot, always out of
and
shot.
that's
But yeah,
if I didn't have to go to another podcast in Africa right now, I would say that's a conversation on its own. When we don't fit into frame, what do people perceive? But whew, but
when you're
I've
not
got
in the
5 minutes.
frame.
I'll give you 2
You
more
gotta go.
minutes of my 5 minutes.
I'm looking at time here. I'm gonna call time on this. Laura, thank you so
Not
much for
quite
joining
yet.
us from the
You gotta drop the
bikini.
weekly joke. Weekly joke. You gotta drop it
I
before we leave.
no,
You're
I
supposed
don't
to
have a,
study at least 1 joke a week, Steve. I mean, you talk about
uh,
cohorts and accountability, and every time
okay,
I hold you
okay,
accountable for a joke, you don't know
all
one.
right.
Laura, send us
I
something.
don't
Laura,
know.
please. You gotta send it. It could be a guess. No
Why
cheating.
did that?
You can't look it up.
Okay, all right. Why did the uh
Why did the chicken cross the
uh
road in Jamaica?
no,
To
no,
get
I
to
was
the
gonna
best side. I just
you're
made that
like
up.
cracking yourself up. You're cracking yourself up.
Steve,
Yeah, there
I
is that.
made a Jamaican
There's
joke
definitely
up
that.
from your past Jamaican jokes on the spot. I mean, if that's not improv stand up, I don't know what is, man.
That is true. You're much sharper than I am.
Your joke
I
was
didn't think of.
good if I had been on a road in Jamaica before. And you know what we've talked about comedy sometimes, you got to take into account the context
Thanks,
you need.
Laura.
I had
There you
never
go.
been on a
Well,
road
yeah,
in Jamaica, so I didn't understand when you said the best side. I was like,
best
what
side.
does that mean?
Yes,
If I had
yes.
been in
If
Jamaica and understood that the roads in some areas were so poor that you're just looking for the best side, I would have been like, that's a great joke.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I think next week I'll try
Take
and
a
get some
video of the
video
road.
footage off the road. Yeah, off
Yeah.
some of the roads that I've gone down. And these are not these. I mean, these are supposed to be major thoroughfares. These are A roads. Well, A roads are better. B roads can be really rough. And there you go. Oh, Donster's just joined us. Maybe you got the time wrong.
Get him in real
Donster
quick.
the traveler.
He also did
How
not
are
vote
you?
for me, I believe.
Okay, there you go. All right,
Pulling
Laura,
everyone out.
thank you so much for being part of the conversation from your deck chair in a
You can go
bikini with
drink alcohol now
sunglasses.
that the water
And
cooler is over.
Don, how are you,
Just
buddy?
be careful, because if you ask for a Mai Tai, the guy might say, "Do you want a Mai Tai or your Tai? 2 different things."
Okay, that wasn't even funny. That was
What?
that was just
Captain Roberts, the first guy to fly a single-engine airplane across the Atlantic Ocean and was America's youngest flight instructor at 16 years old, told me that joke on my podcast. I'm gonna tell him you said that,
there.
Steve.
There you
That's not
go.
even
There
my
you
own
go.
joke. It's not my
And
joke.
that's a,
It's your joke. My tie, your tie.
there you go. And that's a segue into our Air Force guy here, Don Star. How are you doing, Don? When
Oh,
when come,
a giraffe could never have that kind of body. A giraffe could never achieve that.
And look at the muscles
We
on
got-
that guy.
check it. Yeah. Okay. Let's have it. Let's do a little.
Look at that.
Let's do a little.
Look
There
at
you go.
that.
Check
can-
this one. Check that one out. Check that one out.
We gotta yeah,
You're doing, guys. You're doing good. Yeah.
I don't use the
You're
weighted
doing
jump
well.
rope like Steve Wright does. So, all right, I gotta go.
Yeah.
teleport
You've got to go.
Africa
Yeah,
for
I'm gonna
podcast
chat.
now.
I'm gonna chat with Don real quick and then close out because we've been on for an hour already, Don. And I just
Yeah.
want to be respectful of time and
Yeah.
recording time.
Yep.
Mr. Whiskey, Mr.
I had-
Whiskey off.
I need your help to get me to New York City. Steve
So-
can explain.
So
Bye, everyone.
in Whiskey, I tried to connect in to. It only allowed me to vote on one thing, and it wasn't one of the 3 that was in your post. So I got to go back and figure out why.
You can vote once per session, so you can actually vote
Per
for
session.
all 3 of mine to
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
and what
You have to log in.
that was the worst part, Steve. People were like, "We can't find your talk. There's over 300 talks."
You got to go.
Type
You got
my
to
name
search
into
it.
the search bar.
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah, and
Whiskey.
just
I'm the only one who shows up when you type that
Okay.
in. All
I'll figure
right.
it out.
Sayonara day. Thank
Ciao.
you, Don.
All right, see
All
you
right, Don
another.
and Don. See you.
All right, Don and gone. He's
No, I had another
so
call at 10, and I thought I was going
okay.
to join at 11, and I got busy with other things, and I remembered, no, I committed to Steve, so I got to be back. So
Oh, oh,
even for
bless
a
you.
minute, I just wanted to say hi.
All right, that's fantastic, fantastic. Yeah, I had a lovely trip across. It was great to see Um, it's
Are
nice
you
being here. What I mean,
where are you now?
I keep saying, I'm back home
UK.
in Brownstown. But no,
Okay.
I'm in Jamaica. I'm in Jamaica.
Oh, you are. Okay. Oh, back home.
Yes, yes. Back
All
home
right.
in Jamaica from where we visited last week. That's why I didn't have the meeting, have the call.
Okay.
But the friend that we visited, they have a quite a lush, they have a bit of land at the back of their house, and that little walkthrough was their backyard, literally mango trees,
Oh, sweet.
ackee trees, and just
Yeah.
and it's great. And you're picking your dinner. You're going out the backyard to pick your dinner,
Oh man.
yeah, it's a trip. It's a real trip. And Jamaica's name comes from it's I don't know where the word comes from, but it was pronounced Yamaka with an X, but they spell it with a J now, Jamaica, and it means land of wood and water.
Mm.
And you see that it is, you go into the interior a little bit elevated, it's a little bit cooler, and it's very lush and very green, yeah, it's beautiful in that respect. And just you drop a seed and you get a fruit. You basically you walk around picking up food.
Very fertile soil. I think we were there. It was 14 years ago. We were there for our 30th anniversary. And we went to Sandals Grill.
Yes.
So you
Yeah, West
flew
Coast,
in.
the westernmost point. Yep.
Yep.
Montego Bay.
It's Montego. So
Bay.
we flew into Montego, drove out.
Yeah, I went
down
west.
to the south, did some touring down that way, came back up around. But we never made
Yeah.
Kingston and all that on the south and east side. So
Yeah. I am not, if you come to Montego Bay, I'm east from there, and then St. Anne,
okay.
Dunn's River. Dunn's River is probably
Okay.
and St. Anne's Bay is the other highlights. No, Dr. Carla.
I can't talk loud. I'm in the waiting area. I wanted to say hello, but I'm about to have my knee surgery. So I love you guys. I will be back next week.
We'll be praying for you. Keep us posted. All the best. Hope it goes well. All right, then take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right,
Bye-bye.
great to see you.
You too.
Good.
Did I hear knee surgery? Is that what you said?
Yes. Yeah. Knees no fun.
I had mine 5 years ago. Yeah, it's not fun.
Wow.
But it's so much better than it was. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. We're about ready to take off on our trip, camping all the way to the far northeast part of the U.S. and get out of Texas and get out of this heat. So, though it's been really hot up in the northeast, hopefully it'll cool down before we get up there.
We are all raising the temperature. I guess Trump was right. America is the hottest country. You got something somewhat accurate, right there. You go.
That's right. I was just listening to him.
So
at the
hot right now.
Yeah, in more ways than one. I couldn't believe how hot Paris and Munich and Berlin and
yes,
the central continent was. Were you guys that hot up in the UK?
Well, the UK. I think that they've had the hottest June on. They had the hottest June on record ever.
Wow!
And I don't know if they. I don't know if they broke. They didn't. I don't think they broke 40, but they were high 30s. It was unusually, and I think there was some loss of life as well due to.
Oh, is that right?
Due to the heat. I guess it's one of those things. People, you don't realize how hot it is, and you don't have a behavioral reference to deal with it. You think, oh, this is a lovely day, and you're out in it, and you don't put block on, or you don't shade up, or you don't hydrate. You know, whereas here it's almost like, well, there's certain things you just don't do. You don't do between 11 and 2 because the sun is at its highest, right? If you're not up and at it, my mum is up and at it every morning by 7, because it's a functional part of the day, and you know, so
we do all of our bird watching and hiking from sunrise to 10 or 11, and then we're hiding out from 11 to 3, and then we'll go back out and maybe do a bird walk or hit the pool or something. So
nice.
But even then, I'm still wearing an SPF 50 shirt and a wide brim hat. I've been dealing with skin cancer for 28 years. So,
and then that's the thing. Of it's I want people to hear that, because I mean, dealing with it for that long, it's not like you've just had an episode and now you're fearful because it just happened. It becomes, if you're dealing with it for that long, it becomes a lifestyle, and it's just the way you operate. And I don't want anyone to have skin cancer to then decide that they're going to operate differently. You know.
Nope. Well, you do operate differently. Like you said, it's a lifestyle change. So you get out of the main part of the day. You put on the SPF sunshade, the sunscreen, and I went from 15 up to 30, now 40, and then you have the long sleeve shirts with the SPF 50, and I have my birding shirts are SPF 50, and I put on pants more often if I'm going to be out in the middle of the day. So it's all those things. You're a little bit less comfortable to protect yourself.
It's the largest organ in the body. So got to look after it, and it hides being the largest organ exposed in the body. Things can go unchecked real easy.
That's right. So what's the best thing you've done in Jamaica this summer?
Oh, good question. What's the best thing I've done? I've found the best for me right now, actually, the best place to eat sweet potato pudding. I found the most delicious sweet potato pudding, and I don't know how to describe it for the texture for an American. It's probably more like if you think of a pumpkin pie, but firmer. It's that kind of consistency, because it's the sweet potato is grated, so you know it's not like eating a jacket potato. It's a pudding, and it's got coconut milk in there, and it's got a bit of a gelatinous texture to it. So it's like almost like a very stiff cheesecake kind of consistency. But it is this place. Hands down, it's a vegan cafe, hole in the wall, real basic, real rustic, but some of the tastiest food. The guy that runs it used to be in the restaurant trade, and they call it Ital. Ital food is essentially Rastafarian food, which they don't do meat or dairy. So it's very much aligned, but the flavors are crazy. I mean, it's just it's good stuff. And they do a sweet potato pudding. It takes them like 4 or 5 hours to make. They do it they cook it over coals in a we call it a Dutch pot, which is a cast iron bowl essentially, and it's covered.
I've seen them. Yep.
You cook it over coals, and it's got coals on top of the lid, so it's like a little oven. And this thing we watched him make it one day, and we said, like, is it ready? And he goes, no, you have to come back tomorrow. It won't be. You're gonna come back tomorrow. And it was worth the trip. My friend went back the next day and got it, and he sent me a picture, and he goes, OMG, man, this is. And then I went back the next day and got some. And so that, to answer your question, long answer to a short question, but that has been the highlight. Has been a real highlight. And Just some of the I rented a car and did some road trips and just like I said, seeing the interior. On the freeway, there's toll roads which make the island very much more accessible, north to south and east to west, which is good. And then some of the interior roads, which are all kind of hairpins and switchbacks and stuff like that. It's really precarious, but it's nice. It's a nice way to see the place. Some of the roads that you would have been on from Negril going south to go the Westmoreland, that area, St. Elizabeth. Then you would have gone through some of that terrain as well.
Okay.
But it's nice, and sunshine every day is
there you go.
I like waking up warm.
There you go. Yep. Yeah, it was a beautiful country. We definitely want to go back. There's so many places to go to. Man, there's not enough time, but hey, you just got to prioritize and go do it.
Yes, yeah, and sometimes it's okay to miss stuff. It's okay to miss stuff as long as you enjoy what you did get. Enjoy what you get, and not fret about what you missed, because otherwise you end up not enjoying what you got. Right? It's the whole gratitude.
That's right. Amen to that.
So that's definitely key. Well, I'm gonna drop because I've been running for an hour 10, but it's great to see you. So you're on the road. You're on the road from when? When are you on the road?
Into September.
Okay.
So I'll stop back on and see you in September.
All right, fantastic. Check in. I'll share some of your exploits on here, so we'll let people know what Don's been up to and what birds he's been been spying on.
Sounds great.
All the best, buddy.
God bless.
Right. Again, thanks Laura for joining us, Mr. Whiskey. Always a pleasure. People watching the replay, check us out and like, subscribe, comment. All right, great. See you all.